With the release of Taylor Swift's new album, Life of a Showgirl, there have been some old things resurfacing about her in the past that Swifties have tried to hide. In this video, I'm going to cover her use of AI, odd fan photos, Charli XCX, stealing from other artists, and last but certainly not least, dating barely legal boys. I'm going to start with AI.
It appears as though Taylor Swift is using AI to promote her latest album. Several short videos have been released that are supposed to be full of Easter eggs, and in my opinion, they were generated using AI. I have seen some people expressing hope that this is just CGI, so let me explain ways you can tell something is AI, especially in a video. One of the easiest things to look for is inconsistency. Look at the shape of this window up here and see how it does not match the light coming in through that window. The shape of the light on the floor is totally inconsistent with the shape of the window. You can also look for things that are wrong and not just because of laziness. If you were rendering these dumbbells in 3D, you wouldn't just make two different shaped ends of the dumbbell. You would simply make the first end of the dumbbell, flip it around, and turn it into the other end of the dumbbell. So this is extra work to make it look worse if it was actually CGI, and that's one of the ways you can tell it's AI. Besides the fact that this is ridiculous and no designer should make this error ever. The treadmill is also interesting. Up close, the buttons just don't make sense. Unless treadmills now have a mop feature and I'm just out of the loop. Here's another example. With this birdhouse, there's a sign underneath that says honey. This shot initially starts close and then zooms out with the birdhouse and honey sign still in the frame. Let's take a closer look. Okay, take a good look at this font. And now look at this one. Especially remember the loop on the H and this Y here. These are literally just two completely different fonts. There is no way a graphic designer would change the font halfway through. It doesn't make any sense. When CGI is badly done, it's not inconsistent. In fact, it's usually consistently bad. Even when an AI video is good, you're still going to find inconsistencies like this. There's actually another inconsistency here. The flowers here look like they're full, and then suddenly half of them are missing. This would just be one object grouped together in a CGI render. There's also this part where there's a jacket on a hanger next to some other stuff on hanger, and as the video goes on, this rightmost hanger just starts to disappear. It's also like rotating around. There it goes. There she goes. Ah, it's gone. I know there's gonna be people in my comments that are like, Gooch, no, this is actually just CGI. You're wrong, or it's somehow Easter eggs. No. Frankly, I cannot be convinced that this is anything other than AI generated, which truly is a shame because it's destroying our environment and also it's stealing from artists, which I thought was important to Taylor Swift. So I don't know, maybe she'll make a statement on this. Maybe she'll throw her whole team under the bus and be like, I didn't know it was going to be AI. Hopefully this helps at least one of you spot AI videos in the future. Love you guys, drink water, bye.
Those videos are clearly AI, and it doesn't take a genius to tell that. I don't even know if that makes sense. Why would a billionaire, a person with a net worth of $1.5 billion, need to use AI? It seriously makes no sense whatsoever, and it's honestly weird. To make a 1-minute video with AI, it takes 30 liters of water to cool the data centers, and 1.3 kilograms of carbon emissions. That's like flushing the toilet 25 times and running the microwave for 3 hours. But to make the same video in real life, with real cameras and real travel, you burn 4,000 liters of water. But the problem about the AI isn't entirely because of the water usage. As you can tell, it takes more to make a real video, at least according to Google, but it's more the fact that it's taking jobs and stealing art. She could have paid somebody to CGI all that stuff. She could have done literally anything else, but she had to use AI. At the end of the day, it could have been her team making that decision, but she still has some sort of say in it. And the whole stealing art thing is actually a great segue because it leads us to the next thing. Songs that sound like other songs. Multiple people on TikTok have pointed out that a bunch of Taylor Swift songs on Life of a Showgirl sound eerily like other songs. Not necessarily lyrics, but the beat and instrumental. I'm not going to play any of them because copyright, but if you look up the song name and then like the song it sounds like on TikTok, it will probably come up. The instrumental of Life of a Showgirl on one part sounds extremely similar to Cool by the Jonas Brothers. The beginning of Actually Romantic, which I will be talking about later, sounds a lot like Where's My Mind by the Pixies. I also saw somebody say that the Pixies are suing Taylor Swift. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it was, that'd be pretty funny. Also, her song Would, which is interesting, sounds a lot like I Want You Back by Jackson 5. I have seen more songs, but I think 3 examples is a good amount. Nobody owns chord progression, but nobody owns screaming, so like, don't sue Olivia Rodrigo. Speaking of that, I actually don't think it was Taylor Swift that sued her. I'm pretty sure it was her team, but like, come on guys. Deja Vu sounded nothing like Cruel Summer. This one is what started it all. This is what made me want to make this video, and what made me want to do more research on Taylor Swift. Fan photo. I don't know what year this photo was taken, but Taylor Swift is probably like 18, 19 maybe, I'm not quite sure. But, nonetheless, she took a photo with a guy who, drumroll please, had a swastika on his shirt. I tried thinking about this from a Swiftie's point of view, thinking of every excuse I could think of. It doesn't work. Literally none of it makes sense. I've known what a swastika was since I was like 10. Come on. Even if she was drunk, she still has more than 2 brain cells. Like, really? Even if she was, like, scared to say no. I have problems, like, saying no to people about stuff. But if I was a celebrity and somebody who had a swastika on their shirt came up to me and was like, can I get a photo? I'd be like, no, you can't. Why? Because digital footprint is a thing, and why would I ever want to take a photo with someone like that? That's disgusting. Also, apparently Swifties tried to, like, erase this image off of the internet. I found it from a TikTok comment section, But I Google search it, and there was a thing on Reddit from like a year ago. So I don't even know. But the photo has been around for longer than that. This photo is somehow AI, which from what I've looked at, it doesn't look AI. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, thank you for that, mother. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's drilled something. Even if the photo is AI by some chance, I don't even know. I'll just be like, guys, I messed up. I didn't know. But I don't think it is. And until I find out if it's AI, I'm still gonna say, hey, Taylor, that's nasty. Oh, this is the other thing that made me want to make this video. Actually Romantic by Taylor Swift. So basically, this segment is called Charli XCX. On Taylor Swift's new album, Life of a Showgirl, she released a song called Actually Romantic. This is the lyric that everyone thinks is about Charli XCX. Well, the whole song is, but the lyric that started it all. I heard you call me boring Barbie when the coast got you brave. High-fived my ex, and then you said you're glad he ghosted me. Wrote me a song saying it makes you sick to see my face. Guys, whoa. I might go through more of the lyrics, I'm not really sure, but it's basically doomed Yuri, and just like all of other Taylor Swift's songs calling our haters, it basically is just, they're just jealous. They love me, they're jealous. You've never loved me like a, wait, what? Hello, are you okay? Man has never loved me this much. I've never had a man love me more than you do. This is a lot, Taylor. So most people assume that Sympathy is Just a Knife is about Taylor Swift, but the whole song isn't really a diss track. Charli XCX said herself that Brat didn't have any diss tracks except for Von Dutch.
I'm seeing online that some people think there are diss tracks on Brat, and I just wanted to come on here and clarify that there aren't, apart from maybe Von Dutch, which kind of is, but the other tracks in question aren't diss tracks. They're really just about how it's so complicated being an artist, especially a female artist, where you are pitted against your peers, but also expected to be best friends with every single person constantly. And if you're not, you're like deemed a bad feminist. And that to me is just like such an unrealistic expectation. So yeah, these songs are kind of about how, as a woman, as an artist, some days you can feel on top of the world, some days you can feel unbelievably insecure, other days you can feel highly competitive, sometimes you can feel like literal trash, and it's really emotional and it's complicated to deal with, and we're not supposed to talk about it, but these songs do talk about it, and I'll probably be chastised for it, but whatever.
And that really wouldn't make sense to be about Taylor Swift. Also, she said this before Life of a Showgirl came out, so it wouldn't be like she's just, oh, she's making this up now, blah, blah, to make Taylor Swift bad. No. Sympathy is Just a Knife is about Charli XCX's insecurities. The song isn't throwing shade at anybody, except for the line, don't want to see her backstage at my boyfriend's show, fingers crossed behind my back, I hope they break up quick. Taylor Swift and Maddie Healy had a situationship and then I guess dated briefly for a little while. I'm going to explain why this is relevant. Maddie Healy is in the band called 1975, which Charli XCX's husband, was boyfriend at the time, is also in. His name is George Daniel. Now the lyric, I hope they break up quick, sounds really hateful, but the context of the song and knowing it's about her insecurities isn't that weird. You not wanting to see the girl that not even you feel jealous towards, but you feel like you could never compete with, that you could never be like, and is always better than you. Not wanting to see her backstage, not wanting to see her at all, makes complete sense. And saying, you hope they break up quick, you wouldn't have to see her anymore, not in person at least. Charli XCX also opened for Reputation and said it felt like performing to a bunch of 5-year-olds because she had only done 18 plus shows. The whole song, Actually Romantic, is just weird. It's basically hating on Charli XCX for no reason. And even if something happened behind the scenes, we don't know that. So it just makes Taylor Swift seem like a bully. Ignore if you hear sounds in the back. My mom's trying to do something. But we're moving on to my favorite part. Dating high schoolers. Or I guess better said, dating guys who like just turned 18. So I was gone for a little bit because I had to do stuff. But I'm back now. Back to where we were. I don't know, I feel like specifying this because y'all would not have known otherwise. But barely 18 dudes. Crazy. In fall of 2009, Taylor Swift started dating Taylor Lautner. When they first started dating, he was 17 and she was 19. What the heck? That doesn't sound horrible if you think about it. That's only like 3 years. But she turned 20 like a month or two later, so it sounds a lot worse now. And honestly, thinking about the fact that 19 and 17 is still an adult and a high schooler. In reality, it just kind of was always 17 and 20, which is really weird. And 19 and 20, having that in consideration is still weird, because that's like 4 years when she turned 20. November 2012, Taylor Swift dated Harry Styles. She was 22 when they first started dating, and he was 18. She turned 23 not that long later, leaving yet again another high schooler. And she was a full-grown adult. Miss Girl was feeling 22. When Taylor Swift was 22, okay, so I guess this would have been before. When Taylor Swift was 22, she dated Connor Kennedy, who was 17 but turned 18 not that long later. Nonetheless, again, it was weird. High schoolers. I know. We love those apparently. Or Taylor Swift does, at least. If she was a man. Oh my god, this guy's pervert. I'd cancel him. Cancel him. Cancel him. But since it's Taylor Swift, who cares? A lot of people were messing up the ages when I was doing research on this, so I honestly just went to Google and looked up how old was Taylor Swift in this. But I still find it weird that people are okay with that happening. Like, the age gap itself isn't bad when you're, like, an adult, when you're both out of high school. Or one of you's out of high school, at least. But it wasn't, so I think that's pretty weird. Some people might be like, okay, so your points were she's AI. She dated high schoolers, and she had beef with Charli XCX. Why'd you need to make a full video? I don't know. You didn't have to watch it if you didn't want to. Guys, I don't know. This whole video isn't coming from the perspective of a Swiftie, but it's also not coming from the perspective of a hater. I like some of her songs, and I still do, like, even after finding out this stuff, but it does, like, leave a bad taste in my mouth to say. And people are gonna be like, well, you support Melanie Martinez. You're a hypocrite. But I've come to my own conclusions on the situation and her art and all that stuff. And you're obviously free to do that as well. And same with this situation. But I just wanted to bring to light what happened and all this. Just if anybody wanted to know this stuff. But anyway, have a good day or night. And you should like and subscribe if you liked the video.